we are rolling.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Creative Businessmen. This is part 2 of the Nevin Sharma interview. Nevin is a stand-up comic and writer and a really talented guy. He's working on some stuff with us here in the studio that we're excited to show you soon. We had a great interview with him. Thank you guys enjoyed the episode. If you didn't check out part 1, go check out that first. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Also, if you enjoy the channel and this episode, be sure to like and subscribe. We really appreciate the support. And here you go. I like technology though, so I just try to.
I thought that I was going to be one of those people that like would only read. Like there was a period where I tried to get rid of every physical book that I had and just exclusively do digital, and like I never read anything. It just stopped completely. And then I for a while lived next to a used bookstore and was just like, this is more fun. Also, just being in a bookstore is great. I was in it. Yes. I was in that in Scuppernong like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, right down Elm Street.
Yeah, right down Elm Street. And I was just like, oh, I was just picking the book up, but I was like, I could just stay. Like, I would rather just be here and like walk around for a while and just reading names of books. Someone wrote a book about that. Oh, someone wrote a book about it. It feels good in a way that like it hasn't. Like I haven't had that experience of like actually shopping through like a physical location for a long time.
Sense.
When I was in DC a few weeks ago, I went for a walk, and thing I like to do is go for a long walk. I'll get on the subway and end up somewhere, then get really high and panic and try to get home. Like it's a lot of fun. And so I went for a walk and I found a Amazon bookstore, and I walked into it, and it's very sterile. And it is what it is. The prices were nice, and they had every book I needed, right?
Yeah.
And then I was on my way home, and I was a little lost, and I found this other little bookstore, and it's a local bookstore. And all the prices were higher.
Yeah.
But it was like, I liked being in there. Like, it smelled like a fucking bookstore.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Everything felt like a bookstore. That physical feeling.
You'll pay for ambiance and everything.
I did.
But
I bought 2 books that I didn't buy at the Amazon store. Yeah,
that's exactly. The higher price is because of the ambiance. It's like that's what it takes.
In the conversation you get to have with the guy who bought this book. He thought it was interesting when he brought it in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would imagine in the future we'll be able to go into digital bookstores, like virtual bookstores, and still have those same, like that same feel. Like you'll be able to smell the store. And,
yeah, you'd think so.
And
be able to scan the book with the QR code from my eyeball, download it, and not have to touch a thing.
I want to segue this, but this point about what he just brought up. So with Facebook, they changed to Meta and this whole metaverse thing that we're working on, and people are going to plug in, right? And what's that movie in the book that's based on the book that you had me watch, where it's all about like a metaverse, basically?
Oh, Ready Player One.
Ready Player One, right?
Yeah.
So I was sitting here thinking about that, and I was like, this is perfectly fine. I want everybody to sign up for that. It's fine. And I'm just going to take over the world while you do it. me and other people
take
like
over
me.
the physical world.
Because I kind of looked at this like a drug, right? Like people are out there in the world, and maybe their drug is strip clubs, maybe their drug is golf, maybe their drug is real drugs, right? Maybe their drug's food, but they're going to get lost in something, right? And like if you're a dealer, the number one rule is don't get high on your own supply.
Right.
So I can profit from it and invest in it and benefit from it, but I'm not going to plug into it. Right? Yeah. Like that's my thought process. And then while you guys are all distracted, all of you out there, we're just going to be taking over the world, right?
It's funny. The metaverse makes me think of, when I think of the internet, I think of all our minds connected together.
Sure.
Like we're all connected to the same pool of information and we're all sharing. But the metaverse is like all our minds are connected to Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
It's like some terrible.
I want you guys to put all your assets there. I'm going to hit the delete button and we're going to start over. Anyway.
Yeah. No, it does feel like that shift is happening soon. It's like, it's already obviously just this conversation of like whether you prefer a digital version or a physical object. It's like that's only going to accelerate.
The virtual internet's called Web3, I think.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know if I just prefer physical things. Like I've always liked physical. I just like having things. I like having things.
I'm the same way.
It's just like, and we're going to be like, it's everyone, even if like just normal people now will be considered hoarders because they have all of these actual objects, even though there's no clutter. You know what I mean? It's
although I might actually just be a hoarder. Also, just for
but you hoard very
specific.
It's like really well laid out. Like
I also just for street credibility of the show. The number one rule is never let nobody know how much weight you hold. Never get high in your own supply is number 4 in the 10 crack commandments.
Fair enough.
That's a good clarification.
I'm sure people will have houses in the future that will just be bare walls.
Yeah.
And they'll have maybe some furniture to sit on, but you have to put on your AR glasses to see all their NFT artwork and shit, you know?
It's like when they hand you the 3D glasses at the movie theater. Like you walk in before and you're like, you needed these glasses to hang out in my house.
Right, yeah. Which I'm looking forward to stuff like that because Apple's supposed to come out with some really good AR glasses. And it would be cool to be sitting in the coffee shop writing, or even at my house writing, and have this giant screen in front of me where I'm typing on a laptop, but I can see this big screen, or maybe, add other elements to my ambiance.
Yeah.
That, put you in that.
I think that is what the world needs, is for people to be more self-centered. I think that's what we're missing. I know, to be honest.
Right? I'm going for more centered, not self-centered.
Yeah, so we had conversations. This might have been a year ago now. I don't know. It's been a long time ago. But Neil and I had talked about, we'd gotten on like advanced civilizations, and I had kind of jokingly said, well, I think that's already happened. And then, this kind of plays into this. Imagine, let's fast forward, 50 years, because technology is exponential, right? And if physical items go away, right, and eventually everything goes digital, and that race was to be wiped out for some reason, there would, at some point in the future, would be no evidence of that race because everything was digital. Like what you just said, if you have to put glasses on to see artwork, you're not going to find artwork 1,000.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
You're not going to find artwork 1,000 years from now, right? And so, like, if you go back, maybe that's a good point. Maybe that's how it reset. So, and I wasn't even thinking about that when we had these conversations 6 months or a year ago. But maybe everything in the previous advanced race was digital. Maybe when they think about it, I mean, they came from another planet, they colonized this planet. Could have been an advanced race, and they didn't live in the physical world. So the only evidence of that is when something happened. Maybe them actually physically coming here happened, and that technology part went away, and so they had to live in the physical world. That's why we had that first evidence of. That's not the first evidence of life. That's the first evidence of them physically out. Yeah.
I mean, if that happened, they would have had to have completely left with everthing.
Maybe somebody hit the delete
Isn't
button.
there some colony in North Carolina no one knows about? Maybe they were all digital. Some lost colony.
Yeah, well, think about it. If you were all digital, you're saying they would all,
of those people.
They would have left. Maybe you're plugged into a system, and somehow they all died.
Well, the thought of technology comes from the increasing number of us. Like, as the population increases, the more advanced we share ideas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there would have had to have been a lot of them, but there would be some archaeological record, though, if they existed, unless they just completely left and took everything, which is possible. There's
no, I could totally see what.
But I see.
Saying. It's like it is like.
So this is the
exactly from Neil's example was the perfect way to do it. Like it's all digital.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist anymore, which is why I don't like not owning music. That's why I like having physical things.
Well, so there's also a theory that that everything. So we manipulate matter and we turn it into technology. There's a theory that we'll turn everything into technology. We'll just completely, that everything is evolving into technology. And then we'll eventually reach a level where we can, when we start to become technology, we start to merge with technology, if some kind of nanotechnology or something that expands your mind and makes you millions or billions of times more intelligent. If we reach that level, then the internet or whatever we call it then, some type of metaverse, we would be able to create some type of a universe inside our minds, a reality that we live in our minds. And if our minds are that powerful and we can process information that rapidly, then we could live there for thousands of years. But in the physical world, it's only been like 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just come out every 1,000 years and just take care of this body, whatever it's become, and then go back into that thing, and we just live for millions of years in this metaverse.
So long, though.
And
it's so much to do.
But is it? You know what I mean? Like,
but is it?
We could be in it right now, and
if
it feels like 50 years.
But if you're
you don't think every hour feels like 50 years to you?
But if you're that,
I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get real fucking high and watch this podcast.
But if we're that intelligent, though, I mean, who knows what problems we'll be trying to solve and what we'll be working on. We'll probably work on things inside that metaverse since we'll have so much time in there, and we'll take those things and apply them to us out here to extend our lives and extend these bodies and change this, change this experience where we can probably leave the planet, become a spacefaring organism. But there's even another.
You just described what I said.
Yeah. But there's even another.
They're all gone.
That's it. Yeah.
We're done.
Well, I do think that's where it's going.
It's already been there.
How do you
and
know?
the ones that didn't plug in stayed behind.
How do you know?
Which is who we're descendants of.
How do you know if we're not already there, Neil?
Oh, we could be. Yeah. I mean, that'd be. Yeah, we could have created it and just threw the key away. Well,
no, you created
erased
it,
the data,
and maybe death here is like death in a game. You don't realize, and you just wake up.
I was joking about that one time. I was like, yeah, maybe you die here, and you come to, and you're like hanging out with your buddy, and you're like,
that kind of sucks though. Dude,
I
should have put a cheat code in so that you know.
I think there are probably people who have put a cheat code in, and then we've assassinated them.
That's possible.
Or maybe they're still here.
Hey, so JFK.
Yeah.
JFK knew.
I wrote a line that isn't around a bit yet, but the line, you'll appreciate this maybe, hopefully. It was about assassination. It was assassination. Assassination for politicians is like the Hall of Fame for athletes. If you're good enough at it to get assassinated, you were the best at it.
You did it.
Yeah, you did it.
You did
something. You're as good as it gets.
Well, so this whole thing is data, though. Reality is all data. It's all information. I mean, that's why physicists talk about how no information can be lost. In physics, it's all equations. It's all just numbers. And then there was the thing about black holes where physics breaks down a black hole because the data is lost, but according to physics, no information can be lost. But then Stephen Hawking had the theory of the Hawking radiation theory, where he showed that black holes do shrink, and the data escapes the black holes as they shrink. But I read something recently that was saying that once a black hole shrinks to a certain point, it should stabilize, which is, it's like a Planck scale, like tiny. Unobservable, and once that black hole shrinks to that size and it's stabilized, I think maybe that's what creates dark matter. But they were also saying that it could be, so even though that black hole is that tiny, it still has enough mass to contain our entire universe. So it's bigger on the inside than the outside. And the theory is you could go through all these infinite black holes.
That's how I feel about that.
I was literally about to say something.
I feel like everyone.
We were all. I was definitely on the dick joke.
There it is.
the three dirty minds in the room went to dick jokes. Yeah.
I was waiting for. I was like,
Neil's over there being eloquent as fuck, all fucking big brain and smart. Right? Just like, get to the dick joke, buddy.
I was waiting for the plug.
Hey, babe, it's bigger on the inside.
I feel bigger than what I'm showing.
Yes. The masses.
But the thought is like you go through each one of these blank scale black holes and you go into a whole nother universe. Mm-hmm. It's a new big bang, it's infinity.
Yeah,
but,
big bang. I'm
still
stuck on it.
Then when you think about simulation theory, I don't know, I don't know how I feel about simulation theory. This could be some kind of simulation. There's no way to prove it or disprove it. But if it is all just information, though, then time and space may not even be a real thing. It may just be that we're these conscious agents that interface with this data in the way that we do, and this is why we experience it the way we do, but it's probably nothing like what we're seeing or perceiving.
I mean, that's what I feel like when I'm on strong psychedelics.
Yeah.
I see data, and you know what I mean, and waves and energy. And,
Right, yeah.
And when I'm there, I swear to you, I believe that is more real than this.
Yeah, and there's time distortion, time stops, that sort of thing. So it's fascinating what reality is, and I don't know if we'll ever figure it out. Maybe.
I don't think you ever do. You just make your peace with whatever you think and keep going.
Guys like Ray Kurzweil, these futurists, like techno-futurists, technological futurists, they think that everything is becoming technology. And if you think about it, it's really weird because we all came from a star, right? A star exploded, and then all this developed, and now we're conscious We're particles that came out of. We're billions of years old. Our particles that make us up, and we're conscious.
Right.
And we're constantly evolving and creating this technology. And there's even a theory that as a civilization becomes more advanced and starts to transform everything into technology, it'll actually become a black hole, or it'll appear as a black hole because it's so dense with technology, and it just absorbs energy to fuel itself.
Yeah, that's how they do bitcoins, right? They
Well, bitcoins are interesting too. That's I think cryptocurrencies are us collectively acknowledging that none of this stuff is real. It's all a social construct, and we can make anything valuable.
Everyone's like it's meaningless. It does nothing. It's like nothing.
Everything's meaningless.
What I mean,
it's all things only have meaning because we give meaning to it.
We agree to it.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Sorry,
money is a contract of trust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's like if someone wants to be paid in coffee beans, those coffee beans have value. That's all. That's all it is. There's nothing there.
It's all arbitrary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty good. Yeah. I don't know if I like the idea that we're all data. I think that is.
Yeah.
When you think about that, think about it like that, it's probably easier to justify atrocities.
Fuck me.
No, you gotta go make money.
No, it's everybody's food.
So, also, I mean, even biologically, we're data. We have code. We have a genetic code, and we're learning how to manipulate that code to allow us to do things. Like I'm an amputee, so hopefully, in my lifetime, we'll be able to manipulate our genetic code so I can regrow my leg. A lot of the scientists working in genetics. They believe by 2030 they'll be able to start to drastically slow down our aging, and by 2040 reverse our aging.
You said something the other night that threw me into a fucking loop, buddy.
I was really high.
Same. We were sitting around, and you said something about how the next 10 years, if we look at technology being exponential. Repeat that.
So technology is exponential. So the thought is if it continues to be exponential, then when you're trying to predict the future, like what happens in the future, guys like Ray Kurzweil or Peter Diamandis, I love their stuff. If you ever read any of their material, it's incredible. But like Ray Kurzweil's been 86% accurate on his predictions from like 99 until now. Yeah. And the thought is if technology continues to be exponential, which it seems to be, then we're already sort of in the early stages of the singularity. And if you try to say, well, what's it going to be like by 2030 in 10 years? And you say, well, we go 10 years back to 2010, is it going to be, what's happened from 2010 till now? A lot's happened.
Yeah.
But you can't measure it that way because it's not linear. So
right.
With exponential growth, the next 10 years compared to the last 10 years is like 100 years.
Right.
And then the next 10 years after that is like, from now it'd be like 400 years or 500 years.
Yeah.
So it's impossible. So the way I would explain that is like, if you took an iPhone today back to 1921 and you showed it to people.
Oh yeah.
That's the difference between now and 10 years from now.
Right.
Like unrecognizable is what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be completely alien in just 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I remember when 2008 was cutting edge and everyone felt like it was like, we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
Dude, when I got a
apex.
beeper for the first time, I was like, this is nothing's ever going to be easier than somebody punching in my number and telling me to call them eventually when I get around the phone. And now
I remember the touch wheel on iPods were blew my mind.
Yes. Right, yeah.
It's like, how does that?
Well, iPods.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tires. You know what I mean? we got into the whole conversation about vulcanized rubber.
I had this buddy came over, showed me an invention called the wheel.
Yeah,
dude. Kidding me?
Gonna blow you out of your fucking skin.
Well, think about, back in 2006 or 7, when I guess it was 7 when the first iPhone came out. Mm-hmm. I mean, going from a BlackBerry to an iPhone.
Yeah.
It was such a leap.
That was a jump, yeah.
Huge,
all at once. And then even with Apple again today, they went from the Intel chips to the new ARM chips, the M1 chips. Dude, those chips are twice as fast as Intel chips.
Yeah.
I mean, the technology just leaped.
Yeah.
you know,
This conversation, either I'm so 50-50 with it. It makes me, Jesse and I were talking about this before the podcast. I feel like it can be used, and a lot of times you say, technology is going to be the thing that brings us together and saves us, and that we're getting better, and we are, as a people, more peaceful and more loving and more kind and more caring. And I tend to, for the previous 45 years of my life, I get real fucking nervous about this stuff, because I feel like every technological advancement that we've made, we've used in bad ways too.
Well,
and so it makes me really nervous. And then I get into the idea that hopefully communication breeds empathy, right?
Well, listen, there's always the fuckface that wants to strap a missile to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's true. It's a real fear. My only optimism with it, I'm naturally optimistic, but I do fear those things a lot. My only hope, though, is that technology seems to be decentralizing, and it's like we talk about. I was talking about power.
Mm-hmm.
To me, everything is either power or creativity, and if it's based on power, it's destructive. But if it's based on creativity, it's positive. And I feel like creativity is winning, because as technology increases, we become more aware as a civilization. We become more conscious almost. And it's like today, things look so bad because we see everything. Because every time somebody does something shitty, we film it. And we post it online, and we all share it.
And then we watch it a bunch.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody this morning, and they were mentioning that they saw, a video specifically to their situation that was negative. And I was like, well, just stop watching that.
Right.
Because they're going to show you those. There are good versions of that as well. And if you spend more time watching that, it's like you're giving people a lot of information on how to deliver it.
And fortunately, we're seeing a lot of that too. Like, I follow that Instagram channel, the Dodo, and I love stuff like that. It's real positive, But but the point is, though, is that 20 years ago things were way worse.
Right.
With crime and all these things were happening more. We just didn't see them as much. And now we're becoming more aware of them. So it's the correction. It's like the conversation. And I just think that with power, what I see with power is I see like the division we're in right now as a country. Like Republicans, Democrats they're so divided and pitted against each other. They're on the same team. Like, we're all on the same team. You just have power constructs dividing people. They're like, pay attention to this or pay attention to that. And these forces are working against us to divide us from each other. But what people need to understand is we're all different, and we all have predisposed interests and things that we're good at. And we should be focused on developing a society or creating a society where we encourage innovation and incentivize people to find out what they're good at and raise the floor of society. There's no poverty, so we can all participate and be a more prosperous society.
Yeah, I think the participation is. But everyone's just asking. We just want to part of it.
You have to remove the power aspect of it, and that's because I look at conservative people as typically conservative people are less creative, and they're better at implementing ideas, and they're more structured. Whereas liberal people are typically more creative. They're better at coming up with ideas, and these people need to work together. You need to have the structured people working with the creative people,
right,
to implement the ideas. And it's a lot more nuanced than that. There's obviously people that are liberal that are also very structured and stuff. So there's nuance. But all of us, the point is we all need to work together to improve this thing. Because at the end of the day, most of us want the same thing. We want all of our basic needs met, and we want to have love, which is actually first. You want to have love and friendship and community and these things. And we have all the resources to make that happen today. We're just not doing it. But I feel like technology is doing that. I feel like it's decentralizing things. That's why you see cryptocurrencies. But then you see the banks fighting back against it because they hate it, because it takes away power. And there's a difference. There's a clear difference between power and success. You can have infinite success but not have power over other people.
True.
And that's what we want. We want to have a society, and not everybody wants to be infinitely successful, and that's fine. But at the same time, if someone wants to just, everybody should contribute to society, But if someone wants to be a janitor and then play video games, that's
Well, yeah,
fine.
what's wrong with
We
that?
still need the janitor.
Yeah.
The janitor's very, very important. It's
Yeah.
an intricate part of the society. But I feel like we're heading in that direction. It could shift, some crazy person or crazy organization or something could throw a wrench in it. But I don't think I think we're too far beyond it, because we're about to start having quantum technology. I mean, we already have quantum computers.
What that means.
Neil, if you were a politician, you'd be assassinated.
I told him that. But we have quantum computers now. They're just they're not real stable
When we
yet.
talk about quantum technology, dumb it down a little bit for me.
All right. So first off, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a physicist.
Say that right into the camera.
I can sort of understand or conceptualize these ideas, but I'm not the guy to really
It's a
explain
thing
how
you're
it works.
interested in.
Yeah, but so like with current computer technology or chip technology, on the atomic level, so computer chips are also, if you've ever looked at an electron microscope view of a computer chip, it's like a city.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
It's
I know what you're
layers
talking about.
deep.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But so each one of these circuits is only like, I think right now they're so close. They're like just a few atoms apart, maybe like 7 or 10 atoms apart or something. And they're already close enough where electrons will jump from one circuit to the other. And it'll create errors, but we have error correcting code that fixes those things, so they're not a problem. But chip technology is getting so small that it's almost reached its max. We still have a little ways to go. And then Apple just did this new thing with the M1 chips, which changed chip technology, doubled the processing power, and drastically reduced the energy use, which is amazing. So that, to me, that excited me. I was like, oh, that's like a whole new thing now. So that just really changed computer technology. But I think what will happen is the chips that we're using now, the standard computer chips, we'll still get to a much faster level with those over the next few years, but it may max out over the next 10 or 20 years. And that's fine, because with quantum technology, you have chips that instead of just using zeros and ones, they're actually using the atoms to do the computing. So the atom, so it can be a 0 or a 1 or both at the same time, and infinitely in the middle, anything in between.
Sure.
So the best way to conceptualize that is, I think 2 years ago, I believe it was Google's computer. They solved, with their quantum computer, they solved a problem that would take one of our supercomputers like 30 years to solve, and they solved it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And so once that technology is stable and it's reliable, then we'll probably start seeing companies that will have quantum computers spread out all over the world. And then what we'll do is we'll access those computers with our computers. Like if you need that type of processing power, you'll just pay a monthly fee and you'll have access to it. So you'll actually interact with the quantum computer through your computer. And they're so powerful. I mean, one quantum computer could probably, power multiple labs or something. You know what I mean? So, and then at that level, once we have that technology, they'll be able to start. So scientists will be able to start researching new medications or new vaccines. They'll be able to do these things in a virtual reality instead of with testing on animals and people and stuff like that. They could create some new drug or new vaccine probably in a day.
Yeah.
Just through running a simulation of all the possibilities and potential risks and stuff, and be more accurate than what we can do now.
Yeah.
And so it's.
It sounds like a guy who's trying to run a scam where he's like, we're going to use our computers to get their computers. Why we need to get their computers? Make them do it.
Yeah, they'll give it to us.
Well, that's one of the scary things about quantum computers too, is that technology is so powerful that all the passwords we have today could instantly be broken and hacked.
Yeah, all of my passwords could be broken.
Oh yeah,
it's
They're all
every
1, 2, 3,
time
4, 5.
they're asking for a new password, I'm like, I'm
going
to forget this. I'm going to just keep creating new passwords every time you want one.
New versions of the
What
old
phone do you have?
password. Well, that's
iPhone.
Yeah, just use your password app. It makes passwords
Here's
for
the
you.
thing, Neil, that I think you need.
But I also
you and
use
Daniel,
Google. That's the thing. They can't.
Yeah.
They don't communicate.
I don't use a password app, just so you know.
You and Daniel.
You still use sticky notes.
I still use sticky notes.
See, our passwords really don't matter. Like they could steal Nevin and I's passwords, and
that
it
is
doesn't.
very
There's
true.
nothing to take. You guys
Yeah.
need good passwords because you
Oh, yeah.
got shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially this guy.
I do. I do complex passwords that I create myself.
He's kidding, everybody. He uses.
I do. I do. I do use very complex passwords.
Yeah, my passwords are my full name. And my
Right now, I'm
social-
gonna.
just my whole name and my social security number.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna change my password to the PF Chang's delivery lady that. Screwed
you
my
having a hard
$1,000
time?
order.
Oh, you just ordered a bunch
Yeah,
of
so I'm
food?
sitting here in the podcast. You know, you guys see me out there in podcast land, YouTube land watching. I'm over here on my phone, like, getting aggressive with it. I'm like, I'm about to fucking break this phone. And Uber Eats canceled my $1,000 order for, like, 18 people to eat food.
What?
Really?
They delayed it at 1:20. They delayed it at 1:40. They delayed it at 2 o'clock, and then they canceled it. And I got on the phone. That's why I answered the phone, because Uber
This
calling
is
me.
the future Neil wants.
Yeah, I got on the phone. I answered the call because I was like, they called me.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to take this call quick, right? So I was trying to get out of here, and anyway, that's why I did the whole interruption. Anyway, I get outside, and she's like, yeah, we had to cancel your order. They didn't have a driver. I was like, how about it's $1,000 of food? I got a bunch of
somebody.
Yeah.
Send somebody. Or how about you call me, and I'll go pick it up? Like, somebody will go pick it up, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I call the restaurant, and the restaurant's pissed. They're like, you cancel the order.
Oh, wow. Damn.
They're like, you cancel the order. I'm like, no, I absolutely did not cancel the order. Matter of fact, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
call Uber back. I was like, they canceled it because they didn't have a driver, which goes back to what we were talking.
Jeez.
Weren't we talking to somebody earlier about not having staff or I don't know? But anyway,
Yeah.
So is the order coming?
yeah. So the manager of the restaurant is in her car and she's driving it over,
There
which
you
I
go.
told her I was
That's good
willing to
business.
send one of my guys to go pick
Sure.
it up. It's like 5 miles away. This is not rocket science.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
God
It's gonna
damn.
make
And,
it right.
and just want to say this to the Uber driver that canceled the order.
Yeah,
you
but-
got a 15% tip on a $1,000 order for driving 5 miles.
Yeah.
Right.
What an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
that's crazy.
that's a full day of what you would like coming.
Yeah.
And, my guess is you guys probably would have tipped a little more too, so they missed out on.
Oh yeah, they would have. Well, there's 15% is like my default, and then you can go back in and edit it. If they actually do a good job,
Yeah.
I'll go up a hair. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that, I mean, you're talking about $150, $200 to drive a food order 5 miles.
Well,
Right.
I'm gonna need you to sit back and breathe through your nose. And
Yeah,
just breathe-
we're
a
gonna do
little
some
Lamaze.
Lamaze exercises here. But yeah, so I've been dealing with that.
Eric's
chaos.
thinking, I'll go pick it up right now.
Yeah, I'll go pay $150. I'm fucking.
Yeah.
I'll leave
I
right
should
now.
have got into my edibles earlier. I'm feeling anxious right now.
Damn.
What's that joke you have about? Makes me odd numbers make me.
Oh.
That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks for the restaurant. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
like
it's
pure
Uber.
insanity.
It's Uber. So.
Yeah,
well, that's
right.
what the restaurant manager is like.
it's a-
Yeah, the
Communication.
restaurant
He's like-
manager made all that food for sure.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
like, we're the
It's
Uber
just-
told us we're out the money. The order's been canceled. I was like,
Exactly,
no,
yeah.
you're not out the
Every-
order. Bring me my food. I'll
Yeah.
pay for it.
And you'll pay less than you were going to pay on Uber Eats.
Exactly. And
also,
I said, next time
everybody-
I'll call you directly. And he said,
Yeah.
please do.
Yeah.
Or she said,
Everybody,
please
everybody
do.
in that kitchen is probably a little upset. They were about to eat free lunch because they had to. There's $1,000 worth of food.
Sure,
they
yeah,
were
what do
about
they
to eat.
care?
Hey, if Uber is operating that way, there's an opportunity there.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That is a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the opportunity? Just so everyone can.
So everybody can hop on.
No, so anytime you're out in life, when you see a problem, right, that creates an opportunity.
Yeah.
So imagine you're in an ATM business, or you'd like to be in the ATM business, and you walk into a gas station or a service station or a restaurant, and you see that the ATM is dirty, out of order, or doesn't have receipt. You use the ATM and it doesn't have receipt paper, so it doesn't print you a receipt. Look for someone dropping the ball, and that's the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the one that hits you in the face anyway.
Yeah.
Right, because if there's that sign, that problem that you see is actually just like the tip of the iceberg,
Sure.
typically.
Yeah.
Right, so usually that's like a sign of things, because if they're not doing that, what else are they not doing? Right, and that's the thing that is right there in front of your face.
And pretty soon, going back to technology, we've been talking about like quantum, like the next 10 years. So I was talking to Eric the other day, and like when you're talking about exponential growth, if technology continues to be exponential, which it looks like it will be,
Yeah,
then you would compare, like, if you're trying to figure out what 2030 is going to be like, well, think if the next 10 years is exponential. It's going to be it's going to be 100 years of growth compared to the last 10 years.
He said.
I bought the iPhone like a month ago. It came in, and I haven't opened out of the box yet, and the new iPhone's out already.
Well, think of comparing the iPhone.
I'm just like.
He said.
That's true, though.
He said in the next 10 years, this world
be like 100.
will be unrecognizable and possibly alien. And I was so fucking high. He needs to be more responsible with putting that.
Well, he did that while you were high.
Yeah, dude, I was out of my fucking mind. I was like, what the fuck?
But my example was think of showing today's iPhone to someone in 1921.
Bro, think of showing today's iPhone to someone 15 years ago.
Yeah, but that's the difference in growth. 1921 to today will be today to 2030.
That's true.
Which is crazy.
Oh, you'd have been burned at the stake. You'd been a witch.
Right. But or you'd be a god.
The Lord of everything.
You're the one that made the pyramids.
They're like, no shit, you can read books on that thing.
You like digital or you like the
I prefer paper copies.
It's like back off. Stay back.
You demon. That's funny.
But with quantum computers, the password thing, we'll probably all have to use quantum technology to make our own passwords. But also, when you're talking about finding opportunities, the AI will probably be so powerful that it'll automatically be doing that.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah.
So what we're going to have to do is deploy a company that destroys AI.
No, we just have our own AI company.
No. I mean, so we
do both.
Yeah,
you're
you
the
work both sides.
You need yin and yang. You need to be the one on both sides of it. You play both sides. Like if you're going to own the gas station, you might as well own the one across the street too.
I feel
just don't let everybody else know you own both of them.
I feel like my problem with AI creates a solution. You know what I mean? We'll do both.
Yeah.
You make the locks and you make the lock breakers.
I agree. Well, let's talk about locks real quick.
Okay.
Real fast, right? You think you buy a lock at Lowe's, Home Depot. You buy a brand new house that's got a lock on it, right? You think you're pretty safe.
Not really.
You realize that those locks are all mass-produced?
Yeah, everyone.
You can go to Lowe's and just look at the code on the back. Every lock manufacturer has a different number of locks that they make that they mass-produce. Usually the number 7. So literally you can just turn them over. But in theory, even if you were dumb luck and you just continue to buy locks, eventually you'd get a set of keys that open somebody else's house.
Yeah.
So a quick set makes, let's say, 7. And you literally can just use the codes in the back and buy each independent key. So if you really wanted to break into a house, all you have to do is look at what type of brand door they have. Don't go do this. And go buy all the keys.
Yeah. Too much work goes bust the window.
Yeah, but I mean, you could do that, and you're not really breaking in.
Though,
you're not really breaking in. You get a key.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
It's trespassing.
Yeah.
And now that doesn't stop an alarm, a dog, or someone like me with a gun that's going to shoot you.
Right.
But, have fun.
Well, I mean, if anybody wants to go buy a bunch of locks from my place, feel free. The money's in the coffee can.
Hey. Oh.
The passwords are where?
In my fucking head. And on my ID. It's just my birthday. Hey.
Just the password for everything.
Yeah.
Somebody told me the other day, they're like, oh, yeah, my social security number is secure. I use it for everything. And I was like, if you use it for everything, it's not secure. And he says, what do you mean? I was like, well, let's see. The guy that you filled out the paperwork for your password with your alarm system wrote it down on a piece of paper. The person that you read it out to on the phone, they're getting it. Every time you disarm, you're using it. Like every app that you use, you're using it. I was like, any data breach, they're going to have your social security number and the code to everything. I was like, that's not very secure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think social security numbers are secure anyway. Honestly.
Not really, yeah. Nothing's really secure.
Nah, you can go online and request you lost your social security card, and you do it online and get one.
Yeah, I had to do it.
Yeah.
Damn. What's your social security number, Neil?
It is.
Hey, there was that LifeLock.
Yeah, LifeLock was a few years ago.
I've got something that's similar to that, but see, I am well protected. But anytime everything on mine's frozen anyway until I unlock it, and I unlock it for basic purchases. If I'm I very rarely pull my credit, but if I have to, I'll unlock it, and then I'll lock it back down so you can't use it. So
that's good. Yeah.
I also turned off all that bullshit. Excuse my French, but the good tip for everybody.
Can we swear on this podcast?
Yeah, can we say shit? Sugar honey iced tea. But anyway, you can go on there and people can pre-screen you, so you can turn off pre-screening. So that way you stop getting all the credit card offers.
Really? Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a
you
soft.
You guys get credit card offers?
Oh, I know you're getting credit card offers. I know.
Yeah, I get the most.
The last name's Sharma. You have to be getting credit card offers.
Yeah, man. You're from a wealthy lineage. They're all learned doctors on your side there, I think.
Funny doctors. Funny learned doctors.
Funny learned doctors. So.
All right. Let's wrap it up, Neil. Let's take her home. Let's land this bad, Larry. What are we going to talk about?
What do you have any shows coming up or anything?
Yeah. So we do a show every year. We didn't do it last year at Monstercade on Christmas Day.
Oh, cool.
So
It's one of my favorite shows.
It's a super fun show. It's one of my favorites as well. It's the one that I missed the most last year.
Yeah.
And you're going to get to do it this year.
I'm gonna do it this year.
Awesome.
It's super loose. It's like really fun. We'll have a lot of the Eric will be on it. It'll be like a really good. It's just like a nice. It's just a place to go, whether you don't have anywhere to go or you just need to get away, or it's just like I need to just not be here anymore.
It's great vibes on Christmas from whatever perspective you're coming from. It's been really nice.
Just come down. It's a bunch of people just looking to have fun, have a good time.
And just so viewers know, it's Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem, Monstercade.
Small eclectic rock and roll bar.
Small eclectic rock and roll bar. The weirdest bar in North Carolina.
We just shot a comedy special about this, so we'll be talking about Monstercade a lot coming up.
Soon,
That's awesome.
Spot.
Sounds like they're a fan of the arts, though, then, too.
The owner, Carlos, is a world-class human being.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great musician, all around, really solid human being.
Awesome.
It's a cool place. Also, any other stand-up shows coming up for you?
No, not right now. That's kind of the one that I want to put out, promote, and then I got if you want to check out my Little Stories with Animals on Friday afternoons. It's a very long title, but it's everything you need to know. It's Little Stories with Animals on FridayAfternoons.com. I do a story every week. Just as it was just a writing exercise. I was like, can you do this every week?
Yeah.
As just like
what types of animals? We do like sheep or
anything. So the whole genesis was basically again with my brother. Like I used to do a column online every month, and it was if I was ever stuck or didn't know anything, I would just ask him. I was like, hey, spot me 2 animals in an activity, and for some reason I could just like write something.
Wow.
Produce something off of that.
So let's give them 2 animals in an activity. You said
I'll do it this
sheep.
week. That'll be this week's story.
Hold on. Wait, now let me put some thought in now that I got it here.
Neil, think of your animal.
I'm going to reserve an artistic cancellation if I don't like the animal.
My animal's going to be an alpaca.
I disagree.
I don't mind that.
Your animal is going to be a beaver.
Yes, it's gotta be a beaver.
All right, we'll do a beaver.
Yeah. Donnie.
Donnie, shut up, Donnie.
This is hard.
Nevin has been working on. We just shot a sketch that'll be coming up on the channel pretty soon.
Really fun.
It turned out good. Yeah.
And everybody will see why beavers are Neil's favorite animal.
Right. Yes.
Can you do fictional?
No.
Fictitious animal.
No.
Fictitious, like
The
a
real
unicorn.
animals.
Like a Dr. Seuss
No,
animal.
Unicorn.
Hold on a
Like
second.
a unicorn.
He's so into fiction, except
right.
for his story.
No.
No
My,
animals.
What animal were you thinking?
my youngest son loves unicorns. I don't know. He wants me to buy a horse, and then he's like, "We can glue something to its head." Well, I don't know. That could be abuse, but
There you go.
Okay.
Like a unicorn.
I could work a unicorn in. It
Like
might
a
be
horse
with a horn.
A
but
there you go,
unicorn
horse
would
with
be
a horn.
perfect.
Yeah, I got you.
and a
Make-
beaver.
It
Yeah,
sounds
yeah.
sexual.
I
Hey,
can
wait,
do that.
how rated is the
Don't make
the
it
show?
sexual.
Is it adult rated?
It's actually kind of a problem. I don't really know. It's it's not like
I'm gonna-
I have friends that I know.
Is it it's
their
live?
kids.
No,
It's stories. It's all stories.
So he writes writes a story, and then he draws a sketch of it, and he makes little stickers. We'll get the beaver,
100%.
the beaver and the unicorn.
100%, because I'll tell my son it was that if some version of it, I'll be like, hey, this was for you, buddy.
Yeah, that works. Yeah,
Daddy pulls
I can do a
strings.
beaver and a
And a unicorn.
horse with a horn. I'm going to warn
A horse
you
with a horn, yeah. A horse with a horn and a beaver. This will work well.
I got you.
And how can people follow you on Instagram too?
You can follow me, just Nevin Sharma on Instagram, and then or you can follow the Little Stories with Animals account.
Yeah. Awesome.
And also, people need to know you're really funny. Great
Thank
writer,
you.
really funny
Thank you.
dude.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really solid acting, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, great
Thank
actor
you.
too,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
I trained for many years.
Yes.
Deep in it.
And
And also,
like that black hole.
Yeah, exactly.
just so everyone knows too, we'll have some sketches coming out soon. Our first sketch that Nevin actually wrote, which is really good.
Yeah, it'll be on
Fun.
I'm
Never Been
excited
Happier
about
podcast. That's
Yeah.
coming soon.
And the comedy specials coming out.
Yep. Big
over the
things
next
coming up.
few months.
We're
Yeah, big
actually
things.
getting to the point of actually showing people stuff.
Delivering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's about
exciting.
time.
We're
God damn
getting
it.
to the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Getting to the middle.
Oh, man. I
Anyways,
got so many dirty jokes in my mind right now. All right.
It's been been awesome having you on, dude.
Thank you very much for having me. I
pleasure.
really
It's fun.
appreciate it. It's been
Yeah,
fun.
Next time
Yeah.
I won't step out 5 fucking times.
That's okay.
My bad.
I hope you do next time. Be honest. Keep the continuity of what I'm expecting.
It's very rare. Very unlike me.
Should always be unpredictable.
Yeah,
Yes, that's
exactly.
true. That's
keeps
true.
it keeps it. Yeah, unpredictable was right.
I like
I
it.
try to find it out.
Better word. On your toes. Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. Well, if you guys enjoyed the episode, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Later, guys.
Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody.
I do that when I'm having sex. But usually it's because I'm gasping for air.
A little hyperventilating.
Let me take a break.
Are you doing Lamaze breathing?
Can you do it? Can you do it not facing me?
Right into my mouth.
Stop holding your stomach while you're doing that.
I'm having contractions.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they are.
Or like those little things you do when you're a kid and you get your ass beat real hard.
Oh, yeah.
Crying.
Oh, yeah, you can't stop. But I'm trying to.
Try not to come. Oh, yay.
Starting strong today, fellas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Long and strong.